380 some odd days in a school year, right? They give you a calendar. They give you a calendar that you can see where all the breaks are going to happen, right? So you have to plan for those breaks. There's something else that I call preventative justice. So with doing this video, I might do one video, but I might play it, like you said, at the beginning of the year. I might play it again if a kid's been, I might have a kid go through it if they've been absent for more than 3 days. Then I might have a kid, I've had a kids go through it after Christmas break, after Thanksgiving break, after fall break. Like you have to keep, yeah, because kids take in almost uh, quadruple the amount of information that we took in when we was young. Because they got all this, they have all this social media now. They got all these different types of tech. So we think they thinking about our rules in our one classroom on a schedule of eight periods per day, per week, per month, moving forward. No, so you have to keep the peace in your classroom. You have to continue to embed your rules through video inside of the classroom. And the reason I say through video, because you're going to run yourself crazy trying to rewrite all this stuff on the board. You got trying to deliver the message the same way from first period to eighth period. And I'm just using 8 periods because that's what we got. So you're going to lose some of that intensity. But if you do it one time, great. Put it on a video, make the video clean, clear, precise. Don't put a lot of stuff in there, and the kids know what's going on. You could use this video for the rest of your career. If you do it right, you know what I'm saying? Like you'll see, I won't. And some of them, like in this one I'm gonna show you, I won't use logos. I think I use the one I'm gonna show you. I didn't use logos, but usually I won't use logos because you might get a new teaching job. So now, so you might move around, you might move up. So you want to plan for that as well. So that's why I got it in the middle, in any break, and also this is the big one: any transfer student that comes in. All right. Any transfer student that comes in, they do not get put in your environmental academic learning environment until they go through this onboarding process. So what spawned all this, teachers been doing it, but I really I really was intentional about doing it like Fortune 500 companies. All right. The intentionality when you see it is all there because I really tried to hit everything that moves, touches, whatever goes on inside of the classroom. And that's what I would like you guys to do because it's going to save you so much time on the back end. You're not going to be sitting there. You're going to have so much peace throughout the day because everybody knows you're setting what they call your academic environment. All right, that you want to see how you can teach and give you peace while you're teaching because everybody knows what to do. So let me share my screen. Let me pause here. Anybody got anything? Anyway, you go to onboarding, so it's giving you the background of it. So the kids that have a series of videos should be loading. There we go. As you can see, yours might be called something else, but they call albums. So each video is about 3 minutes long. But this first one is 48 seconds.
Okay, students, welcome to your onboarding process for your new adventure in biology with me, Mr. Warren, and Coach Alex. Today, you're gonna learn about everything that goes on in the classroom through a very, very, very detailed video. So stay tuned, see what's gonna happen this year, and see the success that you're gonna bring through the processes that I'm putting together for you. So let's get started.
Well, as you can see, it's not a lot to it. You know what I'm saying? I am bringing them in, but studies have shown that students take in more information through video than through just reading assignments, worksheets, and all of that stuff. Those things are needed, but sometimes you can skip some. You can get more out of a kid by just presenting something in a different way. And so this I'm not going to play all of them. I'm just going to play 2.
All right, students, let's talk about grading in Mr. Warren's biology class, okay? Where did you get graded? Number 1. performance grade. You have a list of things that you got to perform with staying focused. You was engaged all the way through the process of teaching something. You did your independent work correctly. You asked questions. You did all these things right to perform in class for that day. So you get paid for your performance every day. It's either 0 or 100. There's nothing in between. Okay, that's the first way that you get graded. Second way would be a squad grade. Right before you get squad grade, twice a grading term. One for progress reports and the other one for the end of that grading term to help boost your grade up, right? So your squad grade would have a lot of things entailed in it, but I cannot hurt you with the squad grade. I can just help you with the squad grade. So if you got a great squad grade, then it's gonna only help your grade or final in my classroom. Then you got quizzes grades. So we're going to do a lot of quizzes, which I'll talk about in the next section. And when you get the quizzes grade, it's going to be a way that I'm going to teach you how to grade yourself in Schoology to make sure you get the correct grade, but you get a quizzes grade as well. And then, of course, you get your regular, test that we give and your quizzes that we'll give as a whole unit. That means everybody that takes biology in any class that offers biology. So these are the 4 ways that you will get graded in my classroom. So things have been said about my grading system. If you fail Mr. Warren's class, you wanted to fail because he gives you so many opportunities, or I give you so many opportunities to make a excellent grade in biology and perform at a high level all at the same time, okay? So make sure you're on top of your game. Make sure you're performing well. Make sure your squad is going good. Make sure that you're excelling in your.
Before I move on, how many areas did I hit with just this one video on the onboarding process? Or in the onboarding process that you think you picked up?
You discussed how you were going to do grading year round, so it covers beginning, the middle, and the end.
Right. But what else? The grading is one, but then what else did I do? So I'm not gonna leave you up on a big pause, but grading, the big thing is grading, right? And how I grade in the process. But I also was setting expectations not for my classroom as far as grades are concerned. I set them for the whole school. So I'm telling them, like, this is not just for my class. We expect you to perform in every class that you go to. So I'm trying to help. I'm building my environment in my room with this video, short 3-minute video, but I'm also not just thinking about my classroom. I'm thinking about the school as a whole with each individual kid, and how I can help other people out as well. Because maybe something is said in this video that sparks with them, and then they try to make sure their grades are good in every class. Because a lot of teachers get one-sided with just what their content is. And no, we work as a cohesive unit. So they're going to 7 classes, and all 7 classes they getting work, then you have less discipline problems. So I'm just trying to do my part to help somebody else out that the kids are coming from me. Because when they come from me, they're in work mode. They go to another class where they chilling, they have just been taken out of work mode. And then they go to another class that's similar to mine, then that teacher's gonna struggle with getting these kids riled back up, back in work mode again. So that's what I'm trying to do right there, is just make sure everybody's good. But out of these 2 videos, you can see how setting your expectations can go. Like that delivery that I'm giving, it's the same delivery from 7:20 to 3:30 in the afternoon. And with me being on the screen, like a lot of people don't understand. I be trying to explain this stuff to people, but that with me being on the screen, that gives me immediate star power inside of my classroom. Yeah, you can make this stuff with other people and all this other stuff, but when you on the screen, you give yourself star power, because that's how the kids' minds have been registered. Like, if you on the screen, then what you saying gotta be true. And then they actually can reach out and touch you now. Like, they can see that you're doing this, or that's you, but you right here. So it gives validity to some of your subject matter, which we're going to show you in a minute. So, so when you're doing your onboarding video, try to think about every problem, everything. That's why we started out with in the first of this book of getting your classroom procedures in order, streamlining, making sure that you know where you're going in the classroom before the kids know, before the kids get there. Because if you know, then it's also gonna make this video easier and smoother, and you're gonna have a great years to come inside of education, no matter what type of school that you work in. Now, your format, it could be a series of, I like doing the Instagram stories style where they go from one video to the next, to the next, to the next. No video is longer than 3 minutes. And that, it keeps them engaged, it keeps them transferring. You can't see it on this one, but down here, you will be able to see that they have to leave a post after each video. What was the main ideal of this video? And all the kids leave a post. So that's my metacognitive way of making sure that they understand what was being said inside the video. Like this onboarding process is one of the most important things that I do in my classroom, period. And I feel like, more teachers really sat down and thought about their onboarding process, they'll have less classroom disturbances, as they move forward throughout the year. You have a better situation going on. You will actually enjoy teaching because you have processes in place. We just talked about spaces and long breaks. All right, let's go to page 33. You can go to 33 in the book. I'm sorry, I'm a little animated. I'm a Title I teacher. You might get a rap song in the middle of, of the class. But so page 33, it's saying onboarding for parents, right? Your classroom's a business. It's a business. All right, you got customers. If something's not working and people don't understand, you have to create that clarity for them, right? So the onboarding process, if we're looking at the reason I created the onboarding process for parents is because of these problems. Parents not picking up the telephone when you call, the call information may be wrong in the system, so you can't even get through to people. When you get in contact with the parents, they don't really care about their academic success of the kid. I'm just when you need these PDs, I'm telling you what's really going on. Like it's not gonna be any pedagogical rhetoric just to get through a presentation. Like you need to be prepared for what you're about to see. And that's the reason I wrote the book the way that I wrote it. And then contact information continues to change. Right? People get in situations to change numbers. You're dealing with people's lives, so that contact information might not be the same. Then you got a language barrier, right? Then you have a language barrier on top of that. So I'm gonna pause right there to show you how to directly. Let me see if I want to do that now. Let me wait. I'm gonna do that now, but we'll talk about the language barrier and how to directly correct it ASAP, done, and it's efficient. But with the parent onboarding, I solely explained everything. I solely explained everything that the parents supposed to know, that the kids know. But the best part about it, I explained to them how they can substitute the learning at the house. Not be the teacher. See, that's the big thing. Like all the parents think they need to be the teacher, reteach what you taught. No, you can supplement the learning while at the house. All I need you to do is work on vocabulary. All I need you to do is this. And then if you could take as many steps out of what you need them to do at home per unit or whatever you got going on, they're gonna give them courage to go ahead and do this with their kid and not take away from the home duties that they got to do anyway. So with that, I use a system called wordwall.net, and it's strictly vocabulary. And I send that link home to the parents, and the parents know. My parents know right now if they are supposed to pass that link on to their kid, watch their kid do it until they get 100, and then they fill out the parent grading link. So now I got an action item. Here we go again, big business. I get them an action item to go fill out the form when the kid make 100. And so they are actually involved in my learning process because they can boost their kids' grade by going in and filling out their form. And when I go do my grades and I see the name up there, how many times I see that name, depending on how many links, that's how many hundreds they can get their kid. So that ignites the parent involvement to a whole nother level. Now I got data to show, and then that gives me less parents to focus on with the more parents I can get involved inside of the classroom. And so when we do stuff, we try to go after the problem. So problem, parents not involved. Solution, that's giving this link that's less invasive in their life, and then they can work with their kid and give them a way to help their kid out while they're at home. Because everybody that's all they want to do is just help their kid. And it's been working out phenomenal. I can show you numbers from the YouTube stuff that I do. But the parent onboarding video is strictly about what's going on in your classroom, who you are as a person. That's putting a face, right, to the name, because they're gonna get 8 emails from 8 different teachers. So how do you stand out now? You know what I'm saying? How do you make sure they're good? How do you stay in their face about their kid, about the importance of everything that's going on in their life? But this is how you do it. You can do it through video, like with next year. I already got the scripts wrote for the whole year for just parent video. And they'll go out at a certain, and we'll get into automation, but they'll go out and I'll set the automations up so I don't have to think about it after August. They just go out, it's gone, it's done. So that what I'm telling you now, I'm giving you 10 years in the game. Like you're probably ran teacher of the year, like the first year. that whatever job you get, like you're gonna go in like the man, the woman, you're gonna have all language barrier problems solved. You're gonna don't worry about it. I'm getting excited. I'm getting excited. Like you're gonna be teacher of the year the first year. So that's what the onboarding parent video is. Now, how do I send that out though? How do I send that out? I don't really care about school data. I don't really read that. I care about communication data. So what is Verizon saying? What is AT&T saying? What is T-Mobile saying about text messages compared to emails? Text message gets read 90% more than email. So what do? I front load all the parents' information in my phone, put them in groups, and I send that parent onboard video out in a text message, and I say, hey, I know everybody doesn't like group text messages, right? Please do not respond. I just need you to watch this video because I have 150 kids, and this is the fastest, most efficient way that I can make sure that you stay informed about your kids. Send that video, and then you can watch, the views go up. Not so much now because Apple has cut that off, but all the Androids, you can track them. But Apple, you can't track Apple anymore. But you can watch the view count go up as parent, and you know about how many you're supposed to have. What questions do you have now? What got cleared up from what Dr. Rosby was explaining to you about your assignment that now you want to go to a whole other level?
I think it's interesting. That's actually, I never thought about that, like incentivizing the parents. Like if you watch this video, if you give me your information, we can boost your kid's grade up. I never thought about that. That's interesting. And that's one thing that I'm actually going to use when I become a teacher, because parents, if you try to contact them, like you said, we really, it's hard to get a hold of them apparently. So if you give them an incentive, then that'll encourage more interaction with teacher and parents. The video is also really great idea. Something that I would actually use as well, just because, as you mentioned, there's so much going on, and it makes it easier just to make everything automated, makes it easier, it makes the transition smoother, and you can focus more on the teaching rather than, trying to get a hold of somebody, trying to introduce everything. It's just like, just watch this video and we'll move forward. And then the fact that they're so short, it's straight to the point, and it just like, you don't beat around the bush, you just make a video. Okay, watch this next video, and then makes it easier. It's efficient way.
Yeah, efficient. That's what you want. But Dr. Rosby, can I go? So I'm pausing in between. This is not in the book. I'm just getting ready to take you to the 22nd century. Okay, this is going to solve your language barrier problems in your classroom, because if you front load this, if you spend $30 to front load your system, of everything that you teaching in Spanish, then you never have another problem with ESL teaching again. Okay. Man, I wish I could find my video.
It never ends. A giant steaming pile of text. It's just not as engaging to read as it is to watch and listen. But with Synthesia, Alan can take that text and in just a few minutes, turn it into this.
In today's lesson, you will learn about how to set up for a perfect interview.
He doesn't need a camera. He doesn't need a mic. All he needs are some words and a browser.
Hello, Heidi.
Hello.
Alan would like to thank you for the call yesterday.
With Synthesia, Alan can give anything a face and a voice, including his own. And with a little extra work, he can create a custom avatar who looks and sounds just like him.
In this video, I will show some tips on how to connect more efficiently.
Or sounds like him in a different language.
Die Berichte für dieses Quartal sind da und sehen toll aus.
Our CRM system is a great source of information to learn about our customers.
Now it's easy for Alan to share anything he can type.
Once you have the data, it is time to map the customer's journey to the purchase.
Synthesia, turning text into something much more human.
Uh-oh. We done now. We just saw the language barrier with AI. We done. So I turn all my text into Spanish, but I don't even use Google Translate because the Spanish teachers say that's the worst one to use. I use the hello hi or hi hello or whatever, right? The content that I'm trying to convey to the kids, I let my AI do it. I got a young Hispanic female AI that the kids really took to. Like, you should have seen the kids when I was playing this about the lesson, and they understood. Like, they started challenging me. Did you understand what? First of all, they didn't even know that it was an AI. They thought it was a person. Then,
would you say that it'd be different for us since we're both Spanish speakers? Would you say that we also would have to rely on this?
Not so much, but you got to look at it like this. When we talk about ESL is not just dominated by Hispanic speaking. You might have somebody from Cameroon, so you could change the language to Cameroon. You might have somebody in your classroom from France. You know, there's a French native speaker, right? And this AI takes care of that. So every year, you kind of got to you have to take a poll of what type of ESL students are sitting in your classroom, because it might not be Hispanic. But right now, you guys are Hispanic and speak the language, then you won't have to use this for your Spanish speaking kids. You'll be good. But you might have somebody else sitting in the classroom that is of another language, and that's where you would use this AI. And that's how the game would go. And the AI teacher would teach as you would teach it. And then you come back with English, because the STAR test or whatever it is, since y'all in Texas, the STAR test is going to be given in English. But they are going to perform well because we have given them their content in the language that they speak first. Then you went English, then you went content English. And so they're gonna naturally score a high score. I worked at Fair High School, I did 99%, and I had 96% ESL speak. All right, what you're looking at right now is my teacher progression, my 7-step lesson flow. Now y'all hearing about 5E models and all of that, right? So yeah, it's still that, but when I show you the LMS system combining with this, what's going to do is going to take your mind to another level, because like my co-teacher told me today, he said, man, you built a system that you can retire with. Like, you can literally teach like this for the rest of your career and retire. But my problem is I get bored. So I'll be trying to, do different stuff. So I'm going to show you that system. But I want to go through this first. Let me blow it up. All right, so here we go. 7 steps, of course, the space. So step 1, drilling skills. Student had to come in the classroom and write down lesson-driven infographic style content. So that in itself is a lot. So you got what they call infographic teaching. So that also comes out the business world. If you look on the back of cereal boxes, you won't see words. You see infographics with a lot of information, but it looks like drawings. So that means your mind takes in more information through pictures and not just words to embed content that they want you to learn. Same, you take that concept and you tie it to your classroom, same thing. All right. Now, from there we go to 2, right? So 2 said quick, direct, teach. So now I'm teaching whatever this quick skill was. I'm teaching from here. So there's one lesson, there's a smooth transition, and there's one time I've taught the lesson, right? That's the first time I taught the lesson. Because this might be something I have them doing that they don't know nothing about, and then I explain it. Or this might be something that I've taught, and now I'm asking them a question and explaining from the question to move into my quick direct teach to transition them to another level inside of the content they got to go to master. Am I making sense so far? Yes, let me know if I'm talking too fast. All right?
You're fine.
Now, this one is what we get.
Would you be able to make it a little bit bigger?
Oh yeah, definitely. I'm gonna hit this little button right here. Watch the magic. Here we go.
That's perfect. Thank you so much.
Okay, good, good. Now, this one, number 3, now we got LMS, Learning Management System. And I forgot to put the other parentheses right here. But anyway, using micro videos with the actual teacher teaching the lessons, right? Teacher teaching the lessons. A teacher will be able to hit 3 learning styles: auditory, visual, read, write in this set. Okay, students will be in a one-to-one digital environment. We all know one-to-one is the best environment to learn something. In a one-to-one digital environment with the actual teacher of record. So that's the magic. Make yourself a star. I put a class of 32 kids in a one-to-one environment with me inside of the computer. So I clone myself as many times as I need to make sure that the kids get the content that they need to get at the time they need to get it, and work at the speed in which they work at, which takes the fear off of, as you see in the book, of the learning process, because now they're not worried about keeping up with the class. They transition as they learn, but everybody's done by the end of the class. So now everything's smooth. So now your hot flyers can move on, and your guys are still working in the system, they stay there. So let's pause here and let's go look at the system. Where am I at? I don't know. Now, this is what they call an album, a set, right? So this transitions to this one, to this one, to builds on this one, and this one builds on this one, and so on. But the kids love it because they know more than a minute long. And they love the intro for some reason.
All right, students, we're back again. New unit, new learning, new experiences, new information. In this unit, we're talking about the evidence of evolution. And I want to highlight that. Evidence. So how do you prove evolution has happened? In these next videos, we're going to talk about that. Then you have to master them after you get done taking notes, leaving your main idea to each video. All right. The evidence. How do you prove evolution has happened? All right, let's get into it. Let's get started. Let's move to the next video.
And we won't get into all of them, but as you can see, they will transition on to the next one. And what I want you to see now is look at the comments. So what they do, they listen first, they write the notes second, and then they leave the main idea of each video. Now, you could make the argument of kids are copy and pasting, or they looking at the comment above. That's just repetition work. I'm stemming them. There's repetition work right there. There's repetition work, and it's also making them think about what they have just written. what they've just written. And then I do this for every unit in biology. When I built this system, that's the most solid teaching I have ever done. Because now I've taught, now we had 2 times now. I taught the lesson from the skill and drill to the quick teach. Now we in the independent, the note taking section, because this is what I did. I didn't go in detail, I didn't go deep. I take the surface level of learning and put that in video. And then when I gotta go deep, that's when I come back and I do the live teach. So that's where you get to the 7 to 8 minute direct teach. That's why I do my live teach, because I hate talking about the simple stuff. So let the simple stuff be in the video, give me time, and then now I flip the classroom inside of the classroom. So kids now when we get here, I'm starting at a high level. I'm actually saying the vocabulary words now instead of trying to find words around what the actual word is. I'm actually just using the words, moving on here. Okay. So I've taught again. That's three different times. Then I got independent practice. Now this is when I use technology like Nearpod, self-paced, and then I do task cards, and I'm really trying to get them busy work so that I can run my small group instruction. Everybody's working, run my small group instruction, and then I'm calling the groups by number to the front, and I'm going through content again with them. While everybody else that's working, they want to know what their answer is. So they get to walk outside and check their answers as they complete the work. So now everybody's being serviced again. But I don't just pick, like a lot of people say, just get your lowest scores and work with those kids. No. Everybody comes through the small group, right? Depending on the kid that's coming, that depends on the type of questioning that I'm going to ask them. So I got very high level questions, I got very low level questions, I got very high lessons, I got very low lessons, I got medium lessons, or whatever you want to call it, depending on the group that's coming. So if I got my high kids coming, we on a whole nother level than the group before them that I know still struggling with the surface level content. That's why everybody goes to the small group. All right, so then we go on the data-driven, I can't really see this. Data-driven results. I don't really deal with, I think they got it. No, the data say. That's it, it's the numbers. The data says this, they didn't get this. So it's safe to say humbly that if you use the data correctly, you'll never make a mistake in analyzing your kids' weak points. And not just your kids' weak points. If your data is low consistently across the board, guess who need to tighten up their game? The teacher. If everybody low, then you did a horrible job. You did a horrible job as a teacher. Somebody had to get it. But if nobody got it, you know immediately to stop your lesson, go back and reteach this thing, and make sure students are picking up what they're supposed to have.
What are the forms of getting data that you'd prefer? Like, do you ask for group assignments? Do you do like multiple choice little quizzes or little exit slips?
No, I use quizzes. I use anything that collects and analyzes the data and puts it in a readable format immediately. Like I don't have time to look at no exit slips. That's not usable data really. Because you got to analyze it, put it in a workable format, and say Johnny didn't know this, but Sarah did, and then you got to do that 150 times. No, I'm gonna just put you in the class, assign the and the one that I use is quizzes. So you could do open, fill in the blank, all kind of stuff with that. And then you say run the report. It runs the report, and then the ones you got your cutoff number. Say 60 is your cutoff number. Everybody under 60 didn't get it. It's done. You're going to be more efficient as a teacher because the next day you can come in and say, hey, I need Sarah, John, Jimmy, Jake, and Mike now. And we run it. So if you do an exit ticket, you can still call it that. But do it within a system that's going to quantify the data for you immediately, because you have 150 kids and you have a life. You want to go party, you want to go chill, you want to be looking at data all night. All right, so then we get to 7. This is the parent teacher. Parents have been trained on how to supplement their students' learning by overseeing the completion of work sent to the parent for their student. Then the parent has to fill out the form that I was talking about earlier, and they're done. So by the time they get done with a cycle, we've talked the lesson 6 times. This is how you run your test scores. And you do this every day, but you're not doing it. Seems like a lot of work, but you're front loaded in the summer and you're done with it. So any questions about the LMS system, or your knowing what you're doing from day to day, your micro, your like on page 37, talking about day-to-day plan, how your students gonna move, how you're gonna deliver content and all of that. Anybody got any questions about that? Comments, concerns? So what is it that y'all teach?
History.
History.
Right. So you can front load history. You can front load history, easy work. You definitely can front load history. So so that is basically the how to make content available to learners. So what other that's the thing I wanted to hear. If you make your LMS system, or your own LMS system, right? What other problem does it solve for you? Or in this case, do you think it will solve?
Students not knowing what's going to happen next. If you set this routine down, they already know what's going to happen.
That part, you're right. But what other? So go think about people's lives in this system.
Maybe less hands-on teaching, sort of letting the lesson guide itself.
You think from the teacher's perspective. Think from the student perspective. So you're exactly right about less hands-on. I take a 30-minute break every class.
If they struggle with something, they know immediately they can speak up, that they're going to get the help they need.
Yeah. So with number 3, right? You might got kids what they call high transit kids. Okay, so the kids come in the middle of the year, they might leave and then they come back. So we need to have an efficient way to make sure they get caught up from the spaces and time that they miss. So now all you got to do is tell them to go, hey, go into the LMS system, do evolution, genetics, and something else. That's what you miss. You got to listen, read, and take down the notes, and these are the things that you need to do. I had a kid that missed 118. I had 2 kids that missed over 118 days last year, and both of them passed the star. With almost commended because they would send a text message every morning through Remind, like, what we supposed to do? And I would just send them the stuff. I didn't think they was gonna pass myself. They came back to school during the day. We got the test results back. They passed the test. So it solved that transit of kids, right? Because that what gets on the teacher's nerves, having them kids come in and out, they leave, and got to retrain them, got to do this. Now you got to find some kind of package. We're not doing packets no more though. This is what you do. It's me, or in this case, you guys teaching the content in its entirety, thoroughly, and all they got to do is be a willing learner, and they can get caught up with the kids like that. The other problem it solves, right? Unpopular to contrary belief, every kid's not gonna like you. They're just not. I have had kids that come in and literally sit on the back computer for the whole year, do the buff LMS system, listen to what I tell them to do next, never talk to me, and they pass and move on. But they talk to me all the time. You know why? Because LMS system. So I've literally had kids that don't say 3 words to me. They just want to get those introverted kids that just want to get, like, I'm cool. Just let me know what I need to do. I got one now. He don't want to say nothing to me. He gonna do his work, and every test is a 98, 99. So that's fine. I'm okay with that type of relationship. You know, there's 150 different personalities in the room that you got to manage. So we solving problems. And then once you do all the work that one time, you can use this element system for the duration of your career. Unless you like me, you get bored, you want to reshoot and do all of that stuff, and you know. But you gotta think about it. How long has some of them history programs that you look at that you might want to show your kids been out? That's all I'm saying. Duplicate you. So those are other problems that it solves. And also in review, you didn't get this section, but you got this section. I need you to go look at this section and this section, but don't worry about this because you got that one. Boom. That should reteach again. Like it's done. You're gonna get teacher of the year for 5 years. You'll be the first to ever do it. They're gonna go do teacher of the year time 5. You know that, like, it's a done deal. So what it does is it's gonna, once you get that system built and this stuff built, it's gonna open you up to a whole nother realm of possibility. So you're gonna start trying to figure out what else can I do in the classroom now that I see the direction that in which I'm moving. And then you're gonna start creating it. You're gonna start looking at other ways to disseminate information. Because you got your solid, you got your foundation. But that's all I got for that's all I got for the 2 sections. I hope I did an okay job. Hope you got a lot.
Do you know if Professor Rosby's gonna be able to have, if we're gonna have access to this Canva later on? Canvas?
Oh yeah, I'm gonna download and send it to her. She'll send it to you. Not yet.
Okay, thank you.
I'll send it out. No, thank you, Mr. Warren, for providing an excellent PD session. You definitely gave some vital components that will contribute to their success in the classroom. And so you all have a video